Local leaders sounding off as well tonight over the possible closure of Green Bay Correctional Institution. Some have previously called on the state to take action amid allegations of unsafe conditions and overcrowding. First Alert Update, Jamal James asked about the impact should the plan move forward in Madison.
Just days before the governor is set to unveil his 2-year budget, a major announcement regarding the future of Green Bay Correctional Institution and its potential closure. It comes after a group led by Steve Warner called Joshua, which has spent time protesting the conditions inside, which he believes are inhumane.
For one, it's about time. This has been discussed for many, many years, several studies since the early 2000s, and finally now it seems like there's a little bit of a critical mass that's going to make it done.
The prison, built in 1898, was designed to house 749 inmates. According to the most recent population report released on February 7th, it's currently at 1,079. State Senator Jamie Wall is hoping there's bipartisan support for this proposal.
I had a chance to speak with Jim Rafter, the village president in Alloway. You know, he and I think most of his colleagues in Alloway village government are pretty excited about this. It's because it's an aging facility that require a lot of money to bring it up to stuff and make sure that the employees there and the inmates are safe.
Late Saturday, the Department of Corrections sent out this email to staff advising them of the governor's proposal and saying if the prison were to close, GBCI staff will be able to transfer to different correctional facilities or to appropriate positions in their field without having to be rehired. As for Warner, he believes the current location lacks the resources for protecting inmates and staff, but he hopes to see changes through the prison's potential closing date in 2029.
These are our friends, these are our neighbors, these people will be in our communities. Our kids will be going to school with their kids. Our grandkids will be friends with their grandkids. We need to treat people more humanely.
In Alloway, Jamal James, Action 2 News.
Alloway Village President Jim Rafter releasing a statement on the closure, saying in part, quote, GBCI is dangerous. Guards have been brutally assaulted. Inmates have been attacked and killed. It is not safe for our community. Madison owes it to the taxpayers of Wisconsin to finish this process and close GBCI once and for all. Today marks a positive step forward in that journey, end quote. State Representative Ben Franklin also releasing a statement. It reads in part, quote, I look forward to reviewing the governor's plan on corrections reform. My number one priority is ensuring the safety and well-being of our correctional staff, those incarcerated, and our community members, end quote.